Man, this hole's so messed up, it's hard to even get it started.
It's the weight loss diet.
Look at all that crap falling out of there. You can see the silver slivers.
If you guys don't buy a foxbody, we're gonna HELOC you. Hello and welcome to Gearhead 704. I'm Matt, and today what we have for you guys is something I actually want to call out specifically. So we've been doing a little bit more how-to videos lately as I'm working on resealing, regasketing my engine for my SSP, my 306 here. And I really wanted to point out the importance of cleaning and tapping. Okay, so we're gonna get into that today. What does that mean? But this is important enough. I do wanna call out, why you should tap or rethread your bolt holes here. Why does this matter? Well, if you don't do it, you can end up with a lot of problems, and that's exactly what we're gonna get into today. But I have to do a lot of cleaning. Just in case you don't know, I did actually get the oil pan and the timing chain cover and the water pump on last video. You can see that right here. That was the last upload. I will throw one of those cards. I believe it's that way. We'll see if I was right. So you can check out that video. But yes, all that is done. But before I can go ahead and put some of this stuff on here, like my new valve covers, well, not new, but new to me, painted valve covers and the intake manifold and all of that, I need to do some cleaning. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna clean all the lower intake where the bolts go. Also the same thing for the valve covers. And just point out why you should do that. So that's what this is all about today. I'm gonna have Matt here in the video with me today as well. He's gonna explain a little more. Matt is a master mechanic and co-owner of Fox Mustang Restoration. He's kind of knowledgeable guy. Anyway, enough talking, let's go ahead and get into it. Oh, and I do have the good old body cam on today. Okay, I just finished tapping the threads over here for the intake bolts on this side. These six holes on here. There's 12 in total, 12 intake bolts for the lower intake manifold. Now what I did here, guys, is you don't really want this. I'm bringing crud out of these bolt holes, right? You can see some of it in here. So that's why I've got a shirt here. That's why I've stuffed the intake ports with paper towels, even got the distributor covered up. It's a really good idea to do that. You really don't want debris and that kind of stuff falling down into the motor, right? So this is a good idea to do. I even covered up the valve covers because I really don't want, in case the dirt comes out, going into the valve train. It's just a good idea. So what I'm gonna do is finish tapping the other 6 holes over here, other 6 bolt holes. Then I'm going to go ahead and remove the valve covers, and actually I'm gonna tap the valve cover bolt holes as well. This is gonna make sure the threads don't bind, I get proper torque settings, all of that. So, that's really gonna make installation a lot easier. It is tedious and not a lot of fun, but it pays off in the end. If you're following along, you're doing something similar at home, always remember to go ahead and tap your threads. It's just gonna make everything a lot easier for you when you get to installation. All right, guys, we are back to the head mount. I'm trying to make this more interesting for you guys, this whole tapping and cleaning stuff. But before I get back to that and finish the last valve cover, we've got a shop favorite here. How's it going? How's it going, Icky? So you are the king of the channel. Everybody wants to be on here for Icky. I know it. I know it. Yeah. All right, guys, started tapping the header gaskets here, where the header bolt holes rather, And I don't know if you guys can see all the metal that came out, but let's see if we can get that hole in there. Kind of hard to see on video.
Yeah, well, this one right here is the one you really want to catch, because that's the one full of crud, and we're getting ready to clean it out.
Yep, you guys can see that.
You want to be able to thread all the bolts in by hand. You want them to be basically finger loose. This way you know you have nothing binding. Binding can be caused by debris in the hole, debris in the threads. Mostly it's caused by whenever you torque something, you always stretch the threads, meaning, you know, instead of having them straight, they're going to kind of mushroom over from the tension.
Yeah, so that's just normal.
Yeah, it's normal. Yeah. Whenever you torque something, it's just going to happen. With aluminum heads or aluminum threaded ports, it's going to be that much worse because of how soft the material is. Yeah. So they can be stretched that much more easily.
Right, compared to steel.
Right. So I know we tried showing in there, but there's a lot of crud. The threads actually look like they got little chunks taken out of them here and there. So I'm going to try I got a freshly cleaned bolt. I wire wheeled the bolt so there's no debris on there. I can only get that in about 1.5 to 2 turns. And obviously it needs to go in a lot.
Should be a lot more than that, yeah.
So we're gonna take our tap, get it started. Man, this hole's so messed up, it's hard to even get it started. And here's the thing, when you're starting a tap, you need to be very careful to make sure you get it started correctly and in the existing threads, because otherwise you can actually cut new threads. If you start in crooked, you'll basically just strip it out. And you're stripping it out with a cutting tool, so it's going to do a real good job on that.
And we can get some new heads.
Yeah.
Or send them to the machine shop, I guess.
There you go. So I'm just going to slowly, and you can watch the crap just fall out. And when I back it out, it's going to pull out even more stuff.
Yeah, it's dropping to the floor.
This is really crunchy. There we go. It's freeing up a little bit. So we're cutting all the
some of it just hit the camera.
Yeah, some of the stretched material, the stretched threads. We're actually recutting the threads. Now, obviously, you can only do this so many times. If the threads do get stripped out, or if they're just not enough of the material left, the next thing, it can be repaired, but the next thing you have to do is you have to helicoil that. And basically what that means is you're going to drill the hole out oversized, tap it to a bigger thread, and then a helicoil is basically, just think of kind of like the thermactor port. It's got threads on the inside, threads on the outside. And then when you thread the new helicoil in, it recreates the original hole size. All right, so now I got this all the way in. We're gonna back it out and just watch all the crud that comes out of this hole. Look at all that crap falling out of there. Yeah, that is gonna completely just destroy any type of torque setting you have. Look at all that stuff that came out. And yeah, and this is part of the old threads, and this is why tapping and cleaning the threads and cleaning the bolt and correct torque specs are important. Because if this happens, I think we can get away with it this time of not helicoiling it, but if it happens again, I can pretty much guarantee you that hole's gonna need to be helicoiled. I'm gonna run it in one more time. Look at that. Now I can just go in with my hand. I don't have to use a ratchet.
No problem.
Yep. And we're still getting crap out of there. Look at that.
Yeah, I might need to go at it with a pick.
Yeah.
Get some more out.
Yeah, the threads are cleaned up. Now we got all the old RTV and the crap back in the bottom of the thread or the hole. But now we should be able to thread this in. There we go. Went in much further. Yeah, I'm able to almost screw it all the way down with my hands now. So that's exactly why tapping bolt holes and cleaning them out is absolutely crucial on an engine assembly if you care about having the correct torque settings and having things not leak. It's just the proper way to do it. There's no other way to do it. This is it.
So I've got some more work to do. I got to do the rest of those, so let me jump on that. So I'll let you guys know, last time I was on a diet, you know, and trying to lose weight, so that's why Matt hooked me up with some hot dogs. It's the weight loss diet.
Yeah, that's the bun. You don't get a dog.
Okay. That's my weight loss. Bun only. Save calories. So guys, I just finished all 40 bolt holes. There was 40 of these I had to do, but I brought Matt over here because I was concerned about this one right here. Those threads were not looking too good to me, Matt.
No, there's definitely a lot of the thread that was cut away. What I want to do, go ahead and plug these holes off. Let's blow that hole out really well with air to see if a lot of that's just like rough material sitting there.
That I can't get without the pick. With
right,
the pick. Okay.
And then we're gonna look at it. I'll run a tap through again.
Item of concern, yeah. Look, you can really see it kind of right there compared to this one. Has nice looking threads.
Yeah.
You can get right here, and that's just, okay.
Yeah, so yeah, there is a possibility that may have to be helicoiled. Yeah, that's like the first 3 or 4 threads. So yeah, let's plug up your holes first. Let's blow those out, and we'll go from there.
Okay. As you guys saw, we blew that out. Still a little bit crunchy in there, so Matt's gonna try.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to see if I can clean up threads anymore. I mean, not much more I can do that you didn't already do, other than just try to clean the last little bit of material out there, and then hope that it's gonna be clean enough threads that we can actually use it. It still is a little tight, so it's still cutting some material. The surface of those threads right now are not smooth, they're really rough, so they can grab some of the other cuttings. They can actually get between the messed up thread and the cutting tool and actually make it worse. So we're gonna try to help it along a little bit by throwing some anti-seize on here. It's a good thing to use to, I think it's like a graphite base, and it's a good thing to use to lubricate threads. So hopefully we'll prevent some binding here. So I never want to force it. You see, I waited until I was able to get it in with my,
so you're in the right path.
Finger loose. Yeah, because when I first started, the threads are so messed up, it caught several different sections. It seems like it starts, but it's actually cross-threaded. So you want to make sure it at least starts finger loose first, if possible. It's a little bit better. It's not binding now. Coronavirus.
Yep. Don't worry, you guys can't get it on video. There's pollen down here in North Carolina. It's allergies, guys. It's allergies. Come on.
That's why all my cars look like they got a yellow dusting on them.
I thought you had them painted green. Yeah, it looks like it's definitely flowing better now.
Yeah. See if it'll happen by fan now. There we go. That's looking a lot better. So that anti-seize helped a lot.
All right, I didn't know about that trick.
Yeah, it keeps it from binding up. I don't like using it in an area where the threads get heated up, because you know, with the heating and cooling, the aluminum expands and contracts. Whenever it does that, that's what causes bolts to loosen up. That's why they use lock washers or anti-vibration bolts. So lubricating the threads will, of course, help it loosen up easier. So I don't really like using it unless it's some type of machining work like this. You see the silver slivers?
Yeah, it's metal.
Yeah.
See that? Yep.
The
camera picks it up, but I can see it for sure.
Yeah, like that's a bundle of metal slivers right there. And all that stuff was getting bound up in those threads, and that's why I was having trouble getting it back in there. Now, especially when it's this bad, you want to make sure that you're not going to try to do it until you can get it all the way in by hand. Let's look at that.
So much better.
Yeah, I can bottom it out all the way with just finger pressure now. So the threads are as cut and as clean as they're going to be. So at this point, I'll wipe that out to get some of the anti-seize out, and then we'll take a look at the threads and see if we think it can hold a bolt. And actually, that looks a lot better.
Oh yeah.
You get all that, all those fine shavings out that was getting bound up between the cutting tool and the thread surface. I think we're gonna be okay now.
I was getting a little worried we might have to helicoil that, but.
Wait, what did you call it earlier?
I call it He-Lock.
He-Lock.
I think that's some sort of character in a video game. Yeah, He-Man did the He-Lock. That's what we're gonna do. If you guys don't buy a foxbody, we're gonna He-Lock you.
All right, I think we're gonna give that a go. I think we'll be okay with that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Matt doesn't have to put me in the He-Lock now. Headlock, He-Lock, I don't know. All right, guys, I got a little scared there for a minute. I thought that, you know, we were gonna have to basically do a lot more work to get those threads to work, but luckily we were able to take care of that, as you saw. I hope this video has helped you. You can see the importance of, you know, going ahead and making sure your threads are right. You know, you want stuff to be able to be installed easy, not bind, so you don't have leaks later on, among many other things that we already discussed in this video. Anyway, that's gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. However, if you do wanna see me actually finish the assembly on this engine, I'm actually gonna be working on that more today. Stay tuned to the channel for that. Look for that video coming. It should be coming up probably right after this one. I do upload 2 times a week, every Sunday and Wednesday, so whatever day this hits, it'll be on that next upload day. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button. That really helps me out on the channel. If you're stopping in for the first time, you like these kind of how-to videos, tips and tricks, go ahead and subscribe because we're all about fox bodies on this channel. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll see you next time on Gearhead 704.